Welcome back, movie fans, to Cody's Movie Cave. Today, we're going to be going down the horror genre. It's getting towards spooky season, so why not, guys? Why not? So, I just watched one. I actually rewatched it because it's, everybody's seen it at this point. But it's called I Know What You Did Last Summer. What? What did they do? What did they do? Anyway, so yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer is sort of this teen slasher, done to death genre movie, right? At this point, it's nothing new. It was made in the 90s, 96, somewhere around in there, 96, because the sequel came out in 98, so yeah, that'd be about right. I Know What You Did Last Summer. It was, like I said, when it came out, it had done, been done to death, with Friday the 13th, Halloween, it got all of these movies, Scream, sort of came out, it's pretty much similar at the same time to Scream, so that's kind of the way it felt to me, is that this movie was Scream set in a coastal fisherman town, because the lead bad guy, the lead killer, is dressed up in full fisherman regalia with the hook, with the hat, which you really wouldn't think would be creepy, but they managed to somehow make a big oversized fisherman hat and rubber boots creepy. So kudos to them for that. So the cast is rounded out by teen pack at that time: Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Phillippe, and Jennifer Love Hewitt. They were sort of the go-to for the teen movies at that particular time. Each one of them has starred with each other at some point during the 90s. So yeah, they're the standard issue 90s kids that's, drinking, driving, doing things they're not supposed to be doing. And they wind up hitting this poor sod on the side of the road, plowing into him, right? Think he's dead, so they're like, they spend a good amount of the time, about like 10-15 minutes, arguing with what should we do? Should we go to the police? Should we report it? Should we just get rid of the body and dump it? Which is what they wind up ultimately doing. Moral of the story is never do this, right? Never do a hit and run and think it's okay to get rid of a body and not do the right thing. Moral of the story. So they dump him out to sea, hoping that, sharks eat him or tides will carry him out and this and that and the other. Fast forward a year later, and it's sort of done the damage to each of our four, I wouldn't call them protagonists because they're not great moral characters here, but our four leads have kind of took on the damage of the deed that they've done. Their lives hadn't really turned out to where they were heading a year ago or thought they were, so we catch up with each one of them. And the first one, which is the most moral, sound, logical one of the group, Jennifer Love Hewitt, her character Julia, who's off at college doing her thing, and she comes home and winds up in getting a letter. Who writes letters anymore, right? But anyway, a letter, and it reads plainly as day, title of the movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer. So she starts to freak out, sort of goes to everybody else and that was involved and sort of say, hey, we're screwed. There's somebody seen us. Somebody knows what we did. So they start getting messed with in sort of the horror cliche way, one by one, One's hair gets cut off, one gets hit by a car but survives. And so, yeah, they sort of start to get terrorized by this unknown person. They all have their theories of who it is and what's this and that. And for a good part of most of the middle of the movie, it's nothing more than just a Scooby-Doo mystery, right? Trying to figure out who this is, what's going on. Toward the end, we start getting the body counts. Our killer starts to up his game and starts using his hook. And so one by one, they start getting picked off until, spoiler alert, there's not but two left. And that's Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze. And so they sort of left to face the fisherman killer, as he's called. Look, this movie was okay. Like I said, at this particular point in time in the 90s, these type of movies were oversaturated, and in my opinion, they still are. Nothing has yet to come out as original or as frightening as your old school horror movies, Halloween, and that type of affair. But that being said, it's a decent watch, around October, Halloween. If you hadn't seen it, it's one of the few you hadn't seen yet, check it out. I mean, you might dig it. It's nostalgic for us 90s kids anyway. It's got some jump scares, or supposable jump scares, that are pretty much kind of predictable here and there. You kind of see them coming. Like I said, it's got the whole Scream vibe of, you're trying to figure out who is this killer. They sort of set up each kind of person as a potential candidate, but winds up not being them. So, in my opinion, Scream stands out a little bit more than I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a better movie, because it's got not just scares, but it's got comedy and this, that, and it's just a little different, This one, being said, is decent. It's middle of the road. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. If you're a fan of that teen pack, Freddie Prinze, Sarah Michelle, Ryan Phillippe, and all them, then you'll dig it. You'll like it. This was at a point in time when none of them could act, Ryan Phillippe included. None of them. They're terrible actors in this movie, but a horror movie like this, a slasher movie, you don't really go in expecting great performances like Sir Laurence Olivier or something like that, Academy Award winning acting. But, it'll be on AMC, all the usual stuff within this month, so you'll have plenty of opportunity to watch. If you don't want to wait, I'm not sure where it's streaming for free, but you can buy it or rent it on the big three, Apple, Vudu, or Amazon, so you got that option. But yeah, it spawned a couple worse sequels than it was, but as far as standing out, like I said, comparing it to Scream has had way more sequels and way more successful franchise than I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it could be just because it's a long title and it's a long name. I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's hard to kind of, I don't know, bad title. But anyway, like I said, it's a decent scary movie. There's better ones out there, and there's also definitely worse ones out there. So, Halloween coming, check it out, whatever. As always, this has been my opinion. And opinions are like butts. Everybody's got them. Most of them stink.
So the boy and girl are making out, right? When they hear over the radio that this lunatic killer's escaped from an insane asylum.
That's not the way it goes. The boy goes for help, and the girl stays in the car, and she hears this, scratching sound.
No, he's been decapitated. No, he was gutted with a hook.
What's wrong with you? Watch out!
Oh my God.
You think he's dead?
We can't just leave him here.
Oh, tell me, little Miss Prelaw, what's the charge for manslaughter? We make a pact. Right here and now we take this to our grave.
For the last year, 4 friends have kept a secret.
Are you on drugs?
No.
Well, then what is wrong? I've had a rough year.
But not all secrets stay buried.
Somebody sent this to me. Oh my God.
Someone knows.
I Know What You Did Last Summer? Ooh.
What they thought would be a new beginning
Toast to us.
is becoming a dead end.
Somebody tried to kill you last night. We have to go to the police.
If he wanted me dead, he could have done it.
And the mistake they made
It was an accident.
There was no accident. It was murder.
What if he's still alive? Hey!
What are you doing here?
is coming back to haunt them.
Oh my God.
He's after me, too.
I got a letter.
I got run over. Helen gets her hair chopped off. Julie gets a body in a truck, and you get a letter? That's balanced.
He's waiting for us to unravel.
The wait is over.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
what you did last summer.